Have you ever looked at your paycheck and thought, I make enough money, why can't I save any of it? You get paid, you pay the bills, you tell yourself you're going to save whatever's left, then the end of the month comes around and somehow there's nothing left. I think a lot of people make the mistake of assuming they need to make more money before they can start saving. But if you can't control what happens to the money you're making now, more money can just give you more money to waste. Wealth isn't built by what passes through your hands. It's built by what you refuse to let leave your hands. So here are 5 reasons people struggle to save money. They save whatever is left instead of saving first. Their lifestyle grows every time their income grows. They make emotional purchases they never planned for. They confuse wants with needs. They don't have a specific reason they're saving in the first place. So why can't you save money? If you're trying to take control of your money, build wealth, and become a difference maker, like, comment, and follow for more. Make sure you go to InstaSell.com and pick you up an inspirational t-shirt to wear on your chest today. And I got a great show for you today, my Sharp Minds, on my Sharp Minds show. And it's called Why Can't I Save Money, right? And so why can't you save money even though you make enough, right? And so this concept is called paying yourself first, right? And so a lot of people use this save money, invest money interchangeably, right? Specifically, I'm talking about paying yourself first and investing money, okay? Because if you just save it, then it's not going to be earning anything. So we got to put our money to work, right? And so I think of it like this. I think of it as a tax, right? If the government came out and said, we're going to tax you an extra X amount, you're going to be having to pay that no matter what, and you'd have to figure it out, right? And so we're going to do that to ourselves immediately, right? And so as soon as we get paid, I have it set up where money immediately goes into the brokerage account, right? So every time you get paid, that amount, 10%, 5%, whatever it's going to be, whatever tax you put on yourself is going to be put into the brokerage account. And then you go in there and you purchase whatever stock you're going to purchase, right? And so you do that before you do anything else. Before you pay for your light bill, before you pay for your water bill, before you pay for your trash, before you pay for your mortgage, before you pay your car payment, you automatically invest for yourself, right? And so if you do this, and say you do the math on this, right? So what is your goal for saving, right? So my goal is to be financially free, right? To make working a regular 9-to-5 job optional, right? Whatever that means for you. But for me, it means getting to at least $2.5 million invested, right? And so if you extrapolate that, this is my income and I'm going to take 15% of my income or more and invest it, how long is it going to take me to get to $2.5 million, right? And so if you're trying to retire early, you're trying to make that 10 years, 5 to 10 years, right? So sitting there, I said we did this math on 60 grand, I think a few days ago, but so you're talking about $7,200 a year, $600 a month invested, right? And so if you're automatically taxed $600 a month, say you're making $60K a year, you're bringing home, $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. Let's say $4,000 a month, something like that. Bring home pay, and you automatically take $600 off the top. You're left with $3,400, right? And so you have to make your life work on $3,400, right? Whatever that means. So if that means you don't drive a truck, you drive a Toyota Camry or Ford Taurus or, whatever it is, that's what you do, right? Because you're saving for a goal, right? And so why can't you save enough money why can't you save money even though you make enough? Because you don't have the goal, right? You don't have a purpose for saving the money. You're just saving just to save because somebody tells you that's what you're supposed to do. But what's the goal? The goal is to be free, right? The goal is your money to make money and you never have to work again if you don't choose to, right? Or even better, you can actually go choose to do what you want to do, right? So instead of having to work this job that you hate, you can go work a job that pays little, but helps a lot of people, right? And so there's a lot of jobs like that, right? You go work part-time, volunteer places. If you enjoy helping pets, you can go work at an animal hospital or somewhere to volunteer with animals, right? Whatever you want to do, just as an example. But if you wait to the end of the month to try to save, to try to invest, that money's going to be gone, right? And so I do what's called a threshold budget, right? And so once we've taken the money off the top, we have a threshold, which means this is the amount of money left to spend, right? And so once you've paid yourself first, so $600 a month, and then after the $600, you pay your mortgage, your light bill, your water bill, your cable bill, car payments if you got them, phone bill, all the bills are paid, and say whatever's left over. So if you're at $3,400, say what's left over is $800 after everything's paid. You can spend that $800 any way you want, right? But you can't go over the threshold. So if your max amount spent is $3,400 and you got $800 left after all the bills are paid, that's as high as it goes, right? And so medical bill comes in late in the month and you don't have the money to pay it, it goes on next month. It doesn't get paid immediately, right? Such and such, randomly a school trip coming up, but it's over the threshold, you don't pay for the school trip, right? Say, a lot of schools and places like that like to come up with last minute expenses like, nah, bruh, you got to come up in advance if you want that kind of stuff with us, right? So saving is not an income problem. Saving is a standards problem, right? Saving and investing is a standards problem. And so to save and invest, you do it first, right? That's number one, right? But it's two completely different skill sets to earn money and to save and invest money, right? And so how do we get more skill sets? We use our habits to learn more skill sets, right? And so I wake up early every day at 4 a.m. I didn't know how to invest money when I started doing this, right? I learned it. I learned the skill, right? And so now I read every day, right? And now AI has made this super easy, right? Because I can type into AI, who has earnings today? Or who reported earnings today? Give me a summary of what the earnings said, right? And so instead of me having to search for it, AI brings it up for me, right? So now I don't have to go searching on Yahoo Finance or searching through, all these reports to to find the information that I want, right? I can just ask Grok, hey, pull this up for me. Or I can ask ChatGPT, pull this up for me, right? And there it is. And so if you do that for 10 to 15 minutes a day, eventually your knowledge of these companies is going to be so vast, right? I'm talking about 365 days a year, you take 10 minutes to read about companies that you're going to invest in or could invest in, right? And so you're going to know that Meta stock is going to go down because they're spending $250 billion to walk out their AI, right? And so yes, that AI might be worth something one day, but right now the company is spending too much money, and so that stock price is going to go down, right? And so you're sitting there, well, is this a stacking opportunity for Meta, or do we wait and let it go down more and then stack it, right? As an example, right? And so these are skill sets that you learn using your habits, and the habit is waking up early and reading, right? And so, so a lot of people will tell you, hey, you need to read a book, or you need to read self-help books, stuff like that. And yes, if you're trying to learn the skills to make your life better, then reading self-help books might help you. But I try to read on what I'm trying to learn. And what I'm trying to learn about is companies that I can invest in that can make money and pay me to not work, right? And so it's a different skill set, earning money and investing money, right? And so increasing your income can help, but without control over your spending, a bigger paycheck doesn't guarantee bigger savings or investing. So look at your last 30 days of spending. Before you decide you need more money, figure out how much you are spending, right? Is this an average month? Were there extra bills this month? Right? Stuff like that, because that happens a lot, right? Oh, car payments come out this month, flood insurance comes out this month, whatever. But the truth is, it all has to get paid, and it all has to be under your threshold, right? And so the reason that saving money feels so hard is because you're trying to do it at the end, right? Instead of trying to make your lifestyle fit your savings, you're trying to make your savings fit your lifestyle, right? And so if you take that money off the top, you're left with $3,400, and then the rest of your bills are $2,600, and so you got $800 left, right? And so that random trip on $800 probably not going to happen, right? But you've already put your money in the market, right? You're invested at $7,200, So I treat savings like it's a bill that happens first, like it's the first bill that gets paid, because you pay yourself first, right? So that money arrives, it immediately goes into the investment brokerage account, right? So the reason you're broke is because you can't say no, right? You can't say no to the drive-through. You can't say no to Amazon, right? And if you're doing all that, that's why you're broke, right? You can't say no to a new car, right? And so you see a lot of people upside down in cars right now. They went and bought a truck, or they went and bought an SUV, or they went and bought a brand new car, even a 3-year-old car, at the time. And now those cars aren't worth crap, right? And so the payment's too high. They realize the payment's too high. They can't save money on that payment, so they're having to go get another car and then let the bank take the car back, right? And so when you do that, you ruin your credit, right? You're going to ruin your credit for 7 years at best, and it's something you don't want to have to do, but you've already made the decision, right? And you made the decision because you were living a lifestyle. You were trying to make your lifestyle fit you're trying to make your savings fit your lifestyle. instead of your lifestyle fit your savings, right? So when you intentionally set the money aside, what's left becomes your lifestyle, right? And so that's one of the great things about living at the coast, right? You know, there's always the beach. There's always fishing, right? There's always free parks. There's always plenty of stuff to do if you want to do them, right? And so when you change your lifestyle up to say, okay, well, we're going to do that, you know, because this fits the lifestyle. You know, I'm not trying to make the lifestyle fit, you know, right? So, but savings is treated like a bill you already have, right? It's the first bill that gets paid. If you make it your last priority, you're going to fail because you're trying to make savings fit your lifestyle instead of the lifestyle fit the savings, right? So, why do you spend money on things that you don't need, right? When you have a threshold budget, it doesn't matter if you spend it on the things you don't need or not, right? Because you just have to meet the threshold, right? And so if you want that coffee, cool. As long as it meets the threshold, you can have it, right? And so the threshold budget can get you in trouble as well because, you know, going to get that coffee is not healthy, right? And so if your standard is to be healthy and you go drink a 500 calorie coffee, you're not going to be healthy very long, right? So a lot of unnecessary spending can happen in the threshold budget. But once you realize what you're, you know, so this goes back to why are you saving, right? When you have a standard and you have a goal on why you're saving, all of a sudden, even the threshold budget never even gets hit. You just never even hit the threshold, right? And so you're like, oh, well, we had $300 extra this month. Let's throw that in there too, right? So instead of saving 6, you're saving 9, right? And so, you know, that's how things roll out, right? And so, so before you say you want something, you say, do I actually want this thing, or do I want the feeling I like when I buy it, right? So for me, no more coffee, no more soda. I don't drink, I don't smoke, right? All those things are gone, right? Because not only are they bad for you, right? Not only are they going to kill you, give you cancer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They also are costing you your freedom, right? It's a huge difference, right? And so I'm actually going to do some math real quick. Compound interest calculator. All right, let's see. You had initial investment of 600, monthly contribution of 600, and you did that for 10 years at a 12% interest rate, which is a lot higher right now if you've done it the last 10 years. And you're going to calculate it. You know, so you'd be sitting at $128,000 at $600 a month, right? At 12%, right? And so I've averaged 32% currently over my last 10 years. And so you're doing that, you're at $350,000, right? If you do 20 years at 12, you're sitting at $500,000, right? If you average 20% over 20 years, which would be crazy, but you could do it, you're sitting at 1.3 million, right? So worst case scenario, you're sitting with $500,000 in 20 years, right? By living this way. Worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, you're sitting at like 130. What did it say? Sorry, I messed it. I'm messing up. Here, let's see. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Worst case scenario. Yeah, worst case scenario, you're sitting at $500,000. Best case scenario, you're sitting at 1.3 million is what it said. No, best case scenario after 20 years, you're sitting at $6 million. Right? So just imagine, I just had 2 daughters, right? I got 2 daughters. 18 years from now, I'm sitting at 6 million by doing this, right? What kind of life am I going to provide my daughter sitting on 6 million versus nothing, right? Imagine you didn't save at all, or you save a smaller percentage, right? That's the difference, okay? And that's what you're trying to do, right? So the easiest way to start is to say, okay, this is what I spent last month. Doesn't matter anymore. I'm going to pay myself first. So whatever my paycheck comes in, right, I'm going to take an amount out of that paycheck and I'm going to save and invest it. If you don't know what to invest it in, then you hold until you learn what to invest it in. So you take the money out and you leave it in the brokerage account, just cash, making interest. Until you learn what you can invest it in, right? Me personally, when I started investing in silver because I understood silver. You don't invest in things unless you understand them, right? And so, for instance, right now, there are several companies that are undervalued that I know about personally, right? And so I'm investing in those companies because I have knowledge of those companies, right? One of them specifically is a local company, right? It's local to here, where I'm at. And so I'm investing in that company. Now, does that mean it's 100% going to be a winner just because I know about it? Absolutely not, right? But I'm more comfortable investing in it because I have knowledge of the company. I'm not blindly investing because someone says to invest in it, right? And so, but we're going to automate it. Automatically take the money out, whatever that percentage is. If it's 10%, 15%, 20%, 30%, the more you can do, the faster you're going to get to your financial freedom number, right? And so difference makers don't just ask how much money they can make. They take ownership in what happens once they earn it, right? And so we make it easy on ourselves by taking the money out before we do anything else. And then we live a lifestyle based on what's left, right? And so that's the difference. So why can't you save money? Basically because you haven't prioritized saving it. You haven't chosen to save the money first. I'm Nate. I'm the owner of InstaSale. We're 30,000 customers that chose an InstaSale. I know you'll be the next one because you love inspirational messages. So be sure to check out instasale.com. Buy my wife's book, Dylan and Davina. Visit Nurse Savannah, available on Amazon, written by best-selling Amazon author Meredith Dillon Johnson. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, comment down below, let me know the amount you're going to be saving, and we'll see you in the next one.